Right now, the sun might already be gone. You wouldn't know it yet. It sits about 93 million miles away, and the light it's making right now takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach your eyes. That means the sun you can see out the window isn't the sun as it is. It's the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. You are always looking at a little bit of the past, so if it blinked out of existence this second, nothing would happen. The sky would stay blue, your coffee warm, a bird outside still singing. For 8 more minutes, the world would go on believing in a sun that no longer exists, and those would be the most peaceful minutes you had left. So what happens after that? Not in a movie, in reality, second by second. The answer is stranger than a sudden freeze, and the first thing that comes for you is not the thing you'd expect. Start with the part most people get wrong. It isn't only light that takes 8 minutes to cross that gap. Gravity does too. For a long time, people assumed gravity was instant, that the sun's pull reached across space with no delay. Einstein said no. Gravity travels at the speed of light, not one bit faster. In 2017, detectors on Earth caught 2 dead stars colliding and measured it. The gravity and the light arrived together, after traveling for over 100 million years. So the sun's pull and the sun's light would fail at the same instant. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Earth would keep swinging around a sun that wasn't there, still held in its circle by a hand that had already let go. Then the light reaches the 8-minute mark, and 2 things happen at once. The sky goes black, not sunset black, instant, total, middle of space black in the time it takes to blink. And at that same moment, Earth stops turning, not spinning, turning. For 4.5 billion years, our planet has been falling around the sun in a giant circle, its path bent by the sun's gravity. The second that grip vanishes, there's nothing left to bend the path. Earth does what anything does when you stop pulling on it. It flies off in a straight line. And Earth is moving fast. It travels around the sun at about 67,000 miles an hour. That's 18 miles a second. You've been moving that fast your whole life and never felt it because the path was a smooth curve. Now the curve is gone. Earth shoots off into the dark in a dead straight line, like a stone let go from a sling, and it never comes back. We become a rogue planet, wandering the galaxy with no star to call our own. Look up over the next few hours and you'd watch the rest of the sky die in slow motion. The moon only glows because it throws sunlight back at you. About a second and a half after the sun goes dark, the full moon goes dark too. Then the planets start to fall off the board. Venus, Jupiter, Mars, every one of them shines with borrowed light, and one by one, in the order of how far they sit from the sun, they blink out over the following hours. The stars would stay. Those are other suns, still burning light years away, but everything close to home would go dark. You're picturing an instant deep freeze. That's the next part most people get wrong. Earth does not flash freeze. The atmosphere and the oceans are an enormous blanket, and they hold onto heat far longer than you'd think. In the first week, the average temperature at the surface would drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, about -18 Celsius. Cold, but survivable. Within a year, it would fall to around -100 degrees Celsius. It would take years, not minutes, for the surface to approach the true cold of deep space. But the temperature was never the thing that kills you first. What kills you first is what the darkness does to the bottom of everything. Within days in the dark, plants stop photosynthesizing. That one trick, turning sunlight into sugar, is the foundation the whole food chain is built on. Take away the light, and the whole structure starves from the ground up. In the oceans, the tiny plankton that feed nearly everything else die off within weeks. The animals above them last a little longer, living on what's left. Humans could raid the shelves and the freezers for years, but the living world that feeds us would already be a corpse, coasting on leftovers. And here is where the whole story flips. You'd assume everything dies. It doesn't. Miles down on the ocean floor, there are creatures that have never needed the sun at all. Around cracks in the seabed called hydrothermal vents, whole ecosystems run on heat and chemicals leaking out of the earth itself. Giant tube worms, ghost white crabs, colonies of bacteria that eat sulfur instead of sunlight. When scientists first found them in 1977 near the Galapagos, from a tiny submarine crawling along the pitch-black bottom, they didn't believe life could exist there without the sun. Life down there was thriving without it. Those creatures wouldn't notice the sky had gone dark because they never saw the sky. The sun could vanish forever, and their world would carry on as before. The vents aren't the only refuge. The surface of the ocean would freeze into a thick shell of ice, but that ice would act like a lid, trapping the warmth below. Fed by the planet's own internal heat, liquid water would survive underneath for hundreds of thousands of years. Life on Earth would not end. It would retreat to where it started, in the dark, around a vent, running on the heat of the planet itself. Give it long enough, and it gets alien. Over thousands of years, the air itself would begin to freeze. First the water vapor, then the carbon dioxide, and at around minus 180 degrees, the oxygen and nitrogen you're breathing right now would settle out of the sky and fall as snow. You could walk across a field of frozen air, under a black sky, on a planet racing through nothing toward nowhere. Could any humans make it? A few, maybe, for a while. Not on the surface, but near geothermal heat, in Iceland or beside volcanic vents, or huddled around nuclear reactors. Small groups could keep water liquid and grow food under lamps for a generation or two. Humanity wouldn't end in an afternoon. It would end in the dark, running down the last of its batteries. Under the freezing and the flying sights something quieter. Everything you are is stored sunlight. The bread you ate today is sunlight, caught by wheat. The fuel in your car is sunlight, caught by plants that died 100 million years ago. The warmth of your own body is sunlight, passed hand to hand up the food chain until it reached you. You are a way for the sun to get up and walk around, and its grip, the pull you have never once thought about, is the only reason you're sitting still right now instead of falling forever through the black. If it ever happened, you'd get 8 minutes and 20 seconds of ordinary life before the truth caught up. 8 minutes where the sky is still blue and nothing is wrong yet. And the strangest part is what you already know about yourself. You wouldn't spend them looking up. You'd spend them the way you spend every other day the sun holds you together, without noticing at all. The sun has been carrying you your entire life. You call it daytime and look away.